Chief Executive Officer of National Disaster Risk Management Fund, NDRMF, to take the floor.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And it's absolutely pleasure to be here today and be part of this particular panel and just sharing some thoughts on this hugely and very timely topic among the many other important topics which are being discussed in this 3-day session. So my appreciations and congratulations to IRS and for holding this conference and bringing a number of policymakers and experts and a number of people from international experts as well in this session. So, Ambassador Johor have actually articulated in his introduction and depicted the kind of challenges this particular region, the South region, South Asia is actually facing. And he has excellently contextualized it within the climate change context, especially when we're talking about the region and its very unique climate variabilities and the socio-economic conditions which this region actually in many cases suffer from. And then what we heard from EC More colleagues is kind of a very unique challenges, especially the challenges which actually are hitting and depleting our natural resources and the natural resource capital which this region has been abundantly actually offered. And with the increasing temperature, with increasing climatic challenges, what we are seeing is we are very fast and increasingly losing this natural capital. Now, when the region is having more than 2 billion people and increasing every single day, every single minute, let's say, and then having the fastest urbanization growth rate in the world, and then with the population density of 326 persons per kilometer, and where the median age of its people is 27.3 years. And you combine this, you contextualize it in the unique climatic, atmospheric challenges and the variabilities. I think we are in a really worrisome, in a really concerning kind of a scenario. And with the projection of increasing temperature, which we are seeing from the different observations and the climate models, I think we have all the reasons to actually come together and actually very actively think beyond our borders. Because when we're talking about the climate change, actually the border does not really hold any value, and there is no validity of these borders. But what we are seeing today, this morning session was actually quite an animated session, and especially what is going on in the region with the two particular countries, Pakistan and India context. What we are seeing is this regional collaboration, and especially when this region is the least integrated region in the world, any kind of a collaboration which has been actually going on or which was valid, that we are seeing actually receding as well. So we are not only seeing the receding glaciers, but we are also seeing the receding collaboration and the cooperation which has been intact for a number of years or decades, and then that is actually also being threatened as well. Indus Water Treaty, which is in the news these days quite a lot, and we were actually hearing about it, which survived itself the two major wars, countless border encounters, a number of other skirmishes between the two countries. It is being threatened now, and what we are seeing is that there has been a unilateral stoppage from the compliance of the Indus Water Treaty. So this is a scenario. So the region is not only dynamic in terms of its climate variability and unique climate situations and its evolving scenarios. The region is also dynamic. And dynamic in a kind of a negative way in terms of the collaboration and the cooperation which is needed. Now, in this scenario, we are gathered here to discuss and talk about the regional collaboration, which of course is absolutely necessary. And but in fact, what we are seeing is that whatever the collaboration and cooperation was there, it is becoming either ineffective or it is becoming broken down in the following scenarios. So I think this is a really concerning situation. And in the past, what we have been seeing, at least at the international collaboration or international cooperation, especially in the climate change sessions internationally, we have actually been seeing quite a lot of collaboration and cooperation, and we're seeing actually the delegates from the different countries of the region, they actually clubbing together, and they are actually coming up with the shared kind of understanding and shared kind of concerns, and then the common kind of approaches and putting up their positions in the COP sessions and a number of other international sessions as well. We have also seen that a number of international institutions and international frameworks have also been bringing the countries together and highlighting the importance of the collaboration and the cooperation, and that have actually resulted in some of very successful frameworks, and some of them we just hear from EC Mode, and I'm sure that the colleagues from V20 is going to be sharing a few more as well, and there are a number of other elements as well. I think to say that in this kind of a scenario, collaboration and the cooperation in the South Asian region is essential. I think it's going to be an understatement. I think it demands a lot more than that. It demands actually some kind of extraordinary kind of a steps and kind of a collaboration which need to come together. And we have successful examples and successful models around the world. And with the countries of the region, they have actually realized the importance of the collaboration, and they have been actually come up with the projects and the programs which cut across the national boundaries, and they actually look into the areas, and they actually develop based purely on the communities and the countries' kind of interest, and then combine them and put them together to the international community, international financial institutions. International financial, you all know that Pakistan and many other countries in the region, especially when we're talking about the smaller countries, they really suffer about the climate financing gaps. And those financing gaps actually running into trillions of dollars. We know that in Pakistan, particularly when we're talking about mitigation and adaptation combined. Now, this kind of a financing gap can, of course, never be addressed, can never be bridged by any single country by coming up from public or private finances together and to put together and to implement such a gigantic scale kind of projects and the programs. So what is required is that the countries, they need to come up, and those kind of projects and the programs are heavily and hugely favored by international financial institutions, which cutting across the boundaries, and those regional projects, they have those number of additional and added advantages. But this can, of course, never happen in a kind of a present mode of cooperation which is going in the region as well. Some successful initiatives which we hear about it, especially when we're talking about the air quality initiatives, similarly some other on the biodiversity losses as well. But I think this need to be strengthened, this need to be further integrated into a number of other initiatives. We know every summer there's a lot of hue and cry about the smog and the air quality. And we also know that what are the causes behind it, and we also know what are the solutions to this. But because of these regional collaborations not in existence or not strong enough, we have not really come up with a kind of international or at least a regional smog initiative, which actually allow us to come up with the initiatives and the solutions to design the projects and to design the initiatives. Similarly, I think when we look at the countries in Africa, the African Union have been doing a tremendous job, and they actually have been able to bring the countries together. And we are seeing a number of programs and the projects coming together which are regional in nature, and they have been able to mobilize a lot of financing from international financial institutions. So these kind of initiatives are needed in this South Asian region as well. Now, another area is, of course, the kind of the policy or the differences in the policy initiatives. Of course, every country have the freedom to come up with their own policies as well. But then climate change and the climate challenges, they are required to have some kind of a collaboration and some kind of a similarity and coherence between the policies as well. So another good example is we know that EU has been extremely successful, and they have been actually coming up with the EU directives. We see the number of directives, and they have actually been extremely successful in terms of the implementation and creating the real impact in the countries across the EU as well. So similar kind of frameworks can be developed and between the regional countries. Now there is for this kind of initiatives to come up, there is a job to be done by the national and the international and regional institutions. And some of them are actually doing and coming up with these regional initiatives, but we're still seeing a number of new initiatives which are coming up, and they are very much nationalistic, they are nationally oriented, and which of course are needed, but I think they need to look slightly beyond the boundaries as well. So, Ambassador Johar, in the beginning, he mentioned about that South Asia remains the least integrated region. I think there is a potential and there is a scope for using the climate resilience as might serve as the integrating force for the South Asia region. I'm sure that this particular kind of a challenge or the heat which we are facing right now between the two larger countries of the region, I'm sure that we will be passing through it, and then allowing us to look beyond these short-term kind of challenges and more at the long-term challenges such as the climate change. So I just want to stop here. I mean, there's just a few thoughts, just from the top of my head, and especially trying to conceptualize the kind of the challenges which we hear from EC Mode and the other colleague from IAST. Thank you very much.